Hello, I'm William Longfellow, and welcome to Let's Play Super Mario Kart. Today I'll be racing the Mushroom Cup with Tiny Donkey Kong, and I shrunk him by pressing A while holding Y on the character select screen. And what that does is it means if I come in contact with an enemy computer, I'll be crushed and lose something like 5 or 6 seconds recovering from that. So as I catch up to Toad here, I'll have to avoid these computers. And it also lowers my top speed by a little bit. So it's an overall harder challenge, and I hope that's enjoyable to watch. I'm actually going to be doing something else to increase the challenge of these runs. I'm going to start each race in last place. So in the races that follow, I'm going to let myself get crushed by an enemy racer, and I'm going to have to catch up during the course of the race. And I hope that allows me to show off a little more of the grittier situations that you might get yourself into in Super Mario Kart, because it's actually very much more difficult to catch up in Super Mario Kart than it is just to race rather comfortably like I'm doing now in first place. Of course, this is a very easy course either way, this Mario Circuit 1, because it's very wide. But having the computers in your way can present new and difficult challenges. For instance, on that last lap I passed Yoshi, and what I did was, instead of taking the path that Yoshi's on, I aimed to the side and cut across a sandy area with my mushroom. I thought that was a little bit of a safer way of completing the race than having to weave my way around Yoshi. And you're going to be seeing a lot of those types of situations come up in the races that follow. So, somebody crush me. There we go, thank you, Luigi. And this course is actually also pretty easy to catch up to the computers on, because it provides these nice wide tracks on which you can take other paths if the computers are in your way. Here's Yoshi again. If you take the inside right there, and if you take the inside better than I did, then you'll be able to avoid Yoshi, but now my task is a little bit more difficult, but I wouldn't say by too much. Well, that was a pretty good item to get. In last place, actually, you get a lot of red shells, but you also get a fair amount of stars, and I don't really like stars, as I mentioned before. I got another one, but in these wide, easy tracks, they're pretty good. I'm going to try to avoid using the items that are more overpowered, such as the star, in courses like these, and especially the thunderbolt, the lightning bolt, as I feel that sort of diminishes what I'm trying to show with these videos, this challenge of weaving past the computers. You also see Toad laying the poison mushroom, and you might remember if you're large, what the poison mushroom does is it'll shrink you, and you'll become like my racer here. Actually, you'll get a little bit slower, but you'll also have the same thing of being crushed and losing a lot of time if you're touched by an enemy computer. And what I'm going to avoid touching the poison mushrooms in this run, because actually what poison mushrooms do if you're already small is they put you back to normal size. And I don't think that's really in the spirit of this run either. Anyways, enough explanation. I hope to be able to get a little bit more action here. The Ghost Valley course. This one is not too much more difficult than the ones that came before it. It's still pretty wide and offers an easy way to gather up speed, and it offers you feathers every once in a while. It gives me a nice shortcut there. But actually, the way the computers follow the path, I sometimes have difficulty finding a way around the computers, especially on this stretch, because it's pretty narrow the way, unless I take a very wide S along that part of the track. It's pretty hard to find another way around the computers. And I'm saving this feather because I think it'll be a little bit safer if I can first get in front of the computers. If I'm in first place, I like to play a little bit conservatively. I don't use, again, I had the concept of using items offensively and defensively in another video. And what I do when I'm in first place is I use a feather defensively, so let's see if I can... Well, that was a kind of silly use of the feather. wanted to do was feather over the fireball, but I missed the fireball anyways and feathered too late even if I had been in the path. But I like to use my items defensively when I'm in first place, especially when I'm small and when an arrow will basically mean that I'll be put back on the track, and oftentimes Lucky 2 puts me right in the way of a computer that's going to crush me. So I lose something like 9 seconds and probably relinquish first place or maybe even the whole race because of one mistake. So Super Mario Kart can be very unforgiving. Alright, Bowser crushed me. As I said in the first video, I'm pretty bad at this course. I sometimes bump into walls rather stupidly, and that slows me down a bit. But this is another course where it's very easy to get yourself to a high enough speed where you can catch up to the computers. It's actually a little bit weird that your tiny character can catch up to the large characters, but that's the nature of the way the player characters and the computer characters work. Now here's a rather annoying situation, being caught right here in this throng of computer players. I'm actually a little bit happy now that I'm behind them, because once I'm behind them I have time to gather speed and pass several of them in a short amount of time like I did right there. And I took the turn wide to avoid passing Toad because I thought that was a little bit too dangerous. I can probably pass Toad safely now. There we go. And now it's just a matter of completing the race. I'm going to try to take the middle of the road as much as I can. I also want to avoid that mushroom. Ironically, hitting a poison mushroom when you're small can actually hurt your race, even though you think that it would make you big, because you lose the momentum that you had, a lot of the momentum that you had as you transform from tiny to large and vice versa. And in the end of a race, that can mean the difference between first and second or third place. But I successfully avoided it this time. It's a nice touch having the tiny character wave the flag as the characters march across the screen like that. This course is the hardest one in the Mushroom Cup to race tiny, but it's still not terribly difficult. There are a few tricks you can do here. In my first Mushroom Cup video, what I did was I laid a banana right on the jump. I'm going to do so this time. Right in that groove. That's the best place to put the banana. It's not a terribly wide course. Ooh, and I got a lightning bolt. I'm not going to use it, though. Maybe I'll use it right at the end. And there, I got Toad. That was exactly what I wanted to do. If you get the second place computer, that basically makes things a lot easier for you. Because as the second place computer catches up, well, actually in this course, Toad is just going to fail making that loop a bunch of times, I think. But in many courses, if you manage to hit the second place computer with an obstacle, then they'll furiously try catching up and all the other computers will slow down for them. A few seconds back I hit a pipe and still managed to keep my speed. The trick to pipes and other solid obstacles is jumping before you hit them. So yeah, I hit Toad right there just normally and I lost a bit of my speed, but oops, and I didn't want to get that poison mushroom. But if I hit a pipe and I'm jumping while I'm doing so, I can actually maintain a lot of my speed and continue. And actually, the way the physics engine works, it seems that you can actually pass through some of the areas that slow you down, like the sand, right after you hit a pipe like that, which is what kept me at full speed as I cut that corner in the weird way to avoid Bowser a few laps ago. Anyways, I'll leave you to watch the celebration. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.